finest hours were here in Chicago against his current employer. Last January, he scored 4 goals as the Hawks beat the Leafs 6-4. Chicago was definitely Al Secort's kind of town.
Well, Chicago Stadium does bring back a lot of memories for me. It's a building where I think the Blackhawk players are very spoiled. They're very boisterous. They're very there to help back up the team. And any team that comes in here is really prepared to play hockey because they know they're in for a hockey game. I was here 6.5 years. They treated me very well, and it's going to be good to play here again.
In 1984, Ed Olczyk became a hometown hero as he became the Hawks' #1 draft choice. That billing was loaded with plaudits and pressures, each of which Ed Olczyk handled with class.
It's always nice to come home. My family's here, and you know, I grew up here in Chicago and had a chance to play for my hometown team, and it's a great building to play in. And I know opposing teams, when they would come in here, would know the fans would be right into it, and they're going to have a big part. The Hawks have been struggling a little bit lately, and you know, we're on a little bit of a roll, and we want to continue this. And you know, whenever you go home, it's always a special feeling. And you know, I was proud to be a Blackhawk, and now I'm even more proud to be a Toronto Maple Leafs.
Chicago Blackhawks hit home clearly on the limp. Having gone 15 in a row winless on the road, they have lost 8 straight. Their woes began 3 weeks ago in November on the road out west. They lost in LA and were swept in Alberta by Edmonton and Calgary. In a December not to remember, the losing streak continued as they continued on the road, losing in St. Louis, Detroit, and Boston. They were beaten by Buffalo at home and then lost again last night at Landover, Maryland. Mike Gartner scores his 17th goal on the year. Gustafson and Galley drawing assists. This goal early in the second period made 2-1 the score. Denny Savard, who has just 2 in his last 14 games, thought he had scored to tie it, but the play was ruled dead. And about an hour later, the pronouncement was the same for the Blackhawks as they were felled. The final score, 2-1. Meanwhile, at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, a spectacular goal for Al Iafrate as he races to the loose puck. John Van Beesbrook can't get there in time. Iafrate scores his 14th on the year. He leads all defensemen in Toronto to a win, 4-3 over New York.
Bonus. It's your chance at a whole bunch of chances.
Eric Thomas and Harry Neal live from an incredibly loud, as usual, Chicago Stadium. Andy Van Helleman, Harry, threw a bit of a wicket at us there, starting the game about 2 minutes prematurely, but Rick Vaive, the former Toronto Maple Leaf, has opened the scoring just as we get underway.
The worst thing that can happen is give Chicago a lead early in the stadium, and that's exactly what Savard did with a beautiful pass to Vaive, who pulled Reggett out of the net and put it in to give Chicago a lead. They've been badly outscored in the first periods this year, 55-33. That is not a Blackhawk trait.
Think back to when that occurred.
Well, Chicago has to score here at least one. Take advantage of this situation.
Larmer knocked into by Freddie, following up his table in the front of the Vaive. He scores! Rick Vaive makes it 2-0 Chicago.
Well, it was a bad gamble by Tom Fergus trying to intercept the pass at the point when the puck got inside Fergus. See here? Here comes Fergus, 19, misses it. Now the Leafs are stuck with 2 forwards out at the blue line, 3 Hawks, and there's Vaive, who really got a hold of that one. There's the miss right there. You can't gamble on a pass interception when you're 2 men down, and Vaive made no mistake throwing it up over Reggett, and Rick Vaive is making sure that those people who thought that they gave up too much in giving away Vaive are reminded of it this night in the Chicago Stadium.
I was just talking to him before the game, Harry, and he says he really gets himself pumped up. The heart's banging whenever he plays Toronto. And Terry and away come the Hawks again. Playfair for Troy Murray. Troy Murray splits the defense and on goal. He scores! Right through the center. He just divided it. And it's 3-0 Chicago.
Wow, that was a power play goal, or if it wasn't, it was before Terrian could get out of the box. But these 2 defensemen should be shot tomorrow morning before the sun comes up for letting Troy Murray walk between them. Lance and Iafrate, I don't know what they were doing. And neither does Murray. That's only his 5th goal of the year. He's been having a dreadful season. You take him. No, you take him. Now neither one of us can get him. and Reggett comes out and overplays Troy Murray, who really I don't think was going to be able to go to his left. And it's 3-0 Chicago after 5 minutes and 31 seconds. And you can see who's sweating and who isn't. And what team's behind and what team isn't. Boy, when the Zamboni comes out, it'll only do one end of the rink unless the Leafs can get her going here in the next 9 minutes. What Toronto has to do is settle down and try and get the next goal and figure they're lucky if they can get out of this period down 3-1. Chicago has been famous for giving up all kinds of goals. The game isn't over, but it's over if you think you have to get the 3 goals back on one rush.
9:45 left in the first period. 3-0 Chicago, and Dan Daoud will fire it in for the Leafs. Jim Playfair is number 20, and he'll take it out. Just recently called up from Saginaw. To Dave Mackey, 26, right in the letters of break at the rebound, and Noonan rolling, they score! Steve Ludzik may have got the handle on it and tap it in. I think he did just before the net came off the magnets, and it's 4-0 Chicago.
Well, Reggett mishandled the first shot, gave out a rebound, and the Leaf defensemen are not taking a soul out. And Ludzik got to the net. You see, he's taken in the middle of your screen, but Reggett's got to catch those. Then he doesn't know whether to come out or not. And then Todd Gill thought he could get the puck before Ludzik, but he couldn't. Ludzik reached over. Here's the problem right here. Reggett doesn't make the save and cover the rebound. Then he hesitates going out. The puck gets behind him. Todd Gill forgets to take his man. If he took his man with the enthusiasm, he knocked the net off the hinges. It might still be 3-0. But Chicago's on a roll, and these avalanches are awful tough to stop in this stadium when the Hawks get going. There's one of the busier girls in the rink. She plays the great big pipe organ up at the one end of the Chicago Stadium, and I can tell you this, when she plays it, this booth shakes. It does. Boy, if you can make it to the Chicago Stadium to see a hockey game, you got to do it. It's well worth the visit. Top half of your screen, number 16, Ed Olczyk. The bottom half, a sign put up by some of his fans. Olczyk's hot, Chicago's not. They ought to take that one down, save it for another night.
Rid of it for Chicago, and he'll give it to Mackey. Mackey is checked at center by Osborne to Gray. Hooks it back in for the Leafs. Following up is Leeman, the shot. He scores! Gary Leeman, who was the high man for the Leafs last year against the Hawks. And with 7:15 left in the period, Harry, the Leafs get that goal they were looking for.
Boy, they needed that one. Pang, I don't know whether Pang saw the whole thing, but I noticed a lot of rust falling off his leg when he tried to move it. The shot wasn't a real bullet, but it was right on the money, and it went past the Chicago defenseman. Let's have a look at it here. Terrible giveaway there by Playfair. There's the shot. I don't know that Pang was ready for it. He probably thought Playfair would get it out of the zone. There's the giveaway right there, and that's why Playfair, who was a first-round pick by the Edmonton Oilers in 1982, was a free agent this summer, signed by the Blackhawks to stock their Saginaw farm team. All the injuries, here he is.
Pass. Gill takes a stab at it. Puck is up high and bouncing. Freacher is complaining that Nyland had it in his glove, and now Nyland takes a poke at Freacher, and Freacher comes over the top with glove on hand to get a poke at Nyland.
Well, Nyland did have the puck in his glove and should have been given a penalty, but Van Hellemond couldn't see him. And of course, Freacher was complaining, and he tried to knock the puck out of Nyland's hand. The Leafs could use here is a little skirmish that goes on for about 4 minutes. Get him re-involved in this game. But it's hard to get a volunteer to take after this guy. You need a step ladder to get up even with him. And there's Van Hellemond saying the puck was in your glove. Nyland saying it was stuck in there. He couldn't move it. You know that happens every once in a while, Andy. Now you see, he's got the puck in his glove, big number 22. And Freacher's yelling at Van Hellemond. Look at it. He wouldn't call it penalty. Now Freacher tries to hook it out of Nyland's glove. In fact, he does. And then Nyland gives him that one. And Freacher, good for him, comes running back and takes a big jump and hammers Nyland.
Give Tom Fergus. He'll connect up with Freacher at center, who gets going. Freacher tries to go around the defenseman. It slid in front, and Nyland just killed Freacher up against the backboards, and what a crash that was, Harry Neal.
Well, if Mike Ditka's here, he'll want to use Nyland tomorrow night in their game against the San Francisco 49ers. Nyland grabbed Preacher, lifted him off the ice, and threw him into the glass.
Well, we finally have an ident on that young fan, Harry. That is Mary Ann Ludzik, Steve Ludzik's lovely wife, and their little guy, Stephen. And he's enjoying the game, no doubt enjoying the fact his dad scored one of the goals.
He's got a great seat, front row, Chicago Stadium.
Choke off the attack by Troy Murray. Hinacek chasing after the puck in the corner with Steve Larmer. Puck lies loose for Mark Bergevin. Make that Kurt Fraser number 8. Larmer falls in behind the net. Tries to center it out, back to the blue line. Playfair tees it up. He scores! Throw legs in front. 5-1 Chicago.
Troy Murray, number 19, redirects a point shot as the Leafs got caught running around in their own zone. And Murray gets his second goal of the game on a nice tip-in. Here's the shot by Playfair. Watch number 19, Murray, redirected right by Reggett, who had very little, if any, chance on it at all. Now you can see that Leeman number 11, got in a way too far in front of the net, and then he couldn't get back to take his point man. By the time he got there, the shot was gone, and Murray tipped it in. A good point shot, low, on the net, and that shows you what happens if you can get it. John Brophy's not too happy. That goal, he knows, was a big one.
There for the Leafs, puts on the brakes. Look out, he's got lots of company back there. Ludzik steals it. Ludzik tries to come out in front of the Katsavalis, and here we go. A little bit of a match here. Dale DeGray is not afraid to mix it up, Harry, and Martin LeVar. And let's give LeVar the pin here, I would think.
Well, it wasn't much of a fight as far as damage is concerned. It was a wrestling match. I think DeGray may get the instigator penalty, as it looked like he was more interested in this fight than was LeVar. But in the opinion of 18,700 and some, DeGray 3. There's LeVar 15. DeGray gets hit from behind by Larmer. He thinks LeVar did it. So you can see that he gets the extra 2 for instigating the wrestling match in the Leafs game.
Larmer's got it. He'll poke it down gently into the Leaf end. Dale DeGray has got it there. Just 10 seconds left now. And they've only lost 2 games at home, but the 8-game losing streak. And the fans are loving every minute of it as it's going to end here. Here's Cochran, the shot on Reggett. Not much problem there. As the hockey game ends, the final score, the Hawks over the Leafs, 5-1, Harry.
Well, all you have to do is look at the faces of the Chicago Blackhawks to realize life's a lot better now than it was 2.5 hours ago.
The final score is Chicago 5, Toronto